Welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner. This is another Photoshop Elements video tutorial. Please, if you want to check out the DVD you see in the opener, stop over at the website. It's available for you there to purchase. It's jackstechcorner.com. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this lesson. In this lesson, I thought, a lot of us have old pictures lying around that's not digitized yet. And, they're laying in shoe boxes or whatever. And it would be nice to turn those into a digital format so, one, you can back them up, because if that picture gets water damaged or, fire damaged or whatever, you're going to lose that memory forever. Second reason we want to digitize our pictures is that then we can edit them and clean them up. And I have a really old picture here that we're going to take a look at. So the first thing we have to do is have a scanner. But I figured today most of you probably have a, like I purchased, was a copier, scanner, and printer, like a combo unit. I picked this up pretty cheap, found on sale for about $40, so it's well worth the effort and the money to spend for it, especially if you have a lot of pictures. So the first thing I did was put my picture into the scanner. I just laid it onto the scanner itself. And then I go under File, Get Photos and Videos, and look, right here it says From Scanner. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you have the scanner. If you have a notebook camera or webcam, it's going to come up as a scanning device because it's an imaging device. But make sure you choose your scanner. That's my scanner. Matter of fact, that's also a nice printer if you're looking for an inexpensive printer. The DeskJet F4100 is pretty nice. Set your quality to 12 to maximum. And we're going to save it as a JPEG. And you can also save it as some other features here, like a TIFF. TIFFs are very large, and a PNG. But we're going to just save it as a JPEG. Automatically fix red eyes. Leave that unchecked. If you're going to fix red eyes, do that in more of the post-editing type deal. Then click OK. Your scanning wizard will come up. Most of them look like this one. I always hit preview first to make sure these are all aligned. So we're going to preview this. You should hear my scanner kicking in. There you go, the scanner kicked in, and it cropped itself down to the size of the picture itself. So then we just hit scan. Oh, we're going to scan it as a color picture. If it's a black and white picture, maybe you have some really old stuff. Maybe you want to do a grayscale, or a black and white picture, or text. This is more if you're scanning documents. So we'll just do color picture. The preview is the scanner. It does a real quick pass. And when we tell the scanner to scan, it does a real slow pass. So it captures all the detail of the picture itself. So you can see the progress here. And there we go. Now we have that picture turned into a digital reproduction of the picture itself. If you click on this, you can rotate it to the right or left. We're going to go ahead and rotate it to the right. Okay, it says it cannot rotate it. So, if it can't rotate it, that's okay then. We'll just leave it like this. And we're going to go ahead and right click on it though and open up in the editor, because now we want to clean it up, and I want to show you how you can fix this up a little bit. Now let's hope I can get it rotated here. There we go. 90 degrees to the right rotates it. And then we're going to do as always, we're going to open up in full screen. So Control 0. We're on your Macs, Command 0, and then we're going to duplicate it. Control J. That way we're not working with the original picture, we're working with our duplicated layer. Now we have some issues here, and the main issue that I've seen on this picture is the background. You see how somebody here was cut out. I don't know who that could have been, but they were taken out of the picture. Now that happens a lot of times with older pictures. First thing we had to do is try to figure out how we're going to clean up this background. Now I thought probably the best way to do this would be to select everybody out of the picture itself, and we'll put them on a new background. And we know how to do that just by simply using our quick selection tool. And I have a lot of people email me and say, Jack, that's not always the fastest way. There's a lot of ways to do selections, or we can go up and we can use Image, Magic Extractor. Maybe we'll try that on this picture and we'll see how it goes. Let's try Magic Extractor. Now down here where it says Feather, these are ways that we can define, we can defringe with, or we can feather it, and that means we can leave a little feathering around the people here. But what we're going to do first is we're going to select our foreground. So we're going to select all these folks the best we can. Like I said before, when we used the Magic Extractor tool, remember this tool does not have to be exact. It just has to be, basically around the people itself. And we're going to do the best we can here with it. I am not right now using my Wacom or Wacom tablet, however you want to pronounce that. I'm just doing this with my mouse. And we're just going around the heads here. I just like to do a good outline just to let elements know where my outlines are. And we're going to do this. And we'll come back up around this head. Just like that. If you go out of the line a little bit, you have the eraser tool here. You can actually erase some of that off, because we don't want too much of that background to worry about. Then use this. Then I like to use my right bracket key and make my mouse a little bigger. And then I just like to go through and just kind of scratch out the rest of this. Just a little bit to let elements know what we're doing, what we're up against. Alright, we're just going to do this. Then we're going to tell elements at this point, where's our background? And here's our background, so we're going to go here. Because we have some white over here, we're going to go over here. Let elements know that that is also part of the background, because if not, it's just going to pick up this color. And again, it doesn't have to be too exact. Whoops, we don't want that in there though. You don't want to go that much over the red, because then we're going to confuse things. Alright, let's color this back in red. Alright, go back to the blue, or whatever color this may be. You may think it's purple. I think it's supposed to be a bluish color, but on this background it looks kind of purple. And there we go. So we're going to tell it there. Raise that bracket key up again, or that I call the bracket key, and it is the brush. Then we hit on preview and see what we have. Let's see what we actually got out of there. That did a pretty good job. Pretty good, except for some of these areas. So we're going to tell it that those are background areas. Let's come right down in here. And what you're doing here, you're basically just masking out what you want, what you don't want. That's all you're doing. It's just the Magic Extractor tool is built in, so I decided we're going to use it today instead of using the quick selection brush. Sometimes I'm quicker with the quick selection brush. Alright, preview it again. See what we got rid of this time. Okay, we got rid of those extra edges there. Looks pretty good. Maybe we'll go right here just a little bit. Right here, just a little bit. Down here, over here. Just picking up those small little areas. I think it's pretty important to try to make it as clean as possible. And this takes some time. Hit the preview button again, knock that stuff out. There we go. Then we hit OK. And there we go. Now we have them extracted. That looks pretty good. It's pretty clean. It's as clean as probably as we're going to get it. probably erase some of this stuff. Let's look at the eraser tool here. And what we will use is the background eraser tool, because at this point we're going to drop this down, and the color it sees is the color it's going to actually take out there. Without eliminating two. Nope, that's not going to work for us. Let's go back. We will use the standard eraser tool. And just erase this right around here just a little bit. There. Just clean it up a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good. It's cleaned up. Now at that point, what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and clean the picture up first before we drop it on a new background. And what I mean by that is, you see here old pictures, you know how they always get folded and creased and crinkled and what have you. We need to clean this up before we can do anything more. You could either use the clone stamp tool, or B, the spot healing brush. I like to start with the spot healing brush. I feel it's a pretty easy tool to use. So we're going to try that. And what it's going to do is sample on the outsides here. Let's see how it works. It didn't work too good there. There we go. We'll just click through here instead of dragging it. I don't like that we took that button off. This is a very tedious job. I was thinking twice about even doing this lesson. But I thought it would be a nice lesson to show you that yes, you can scan pictures, and yes, you can clean them up. We're just clicking in here is all we're doing. Just cleaning some of these creases up. You can see here where we're having a lot of trouble there. So let's go back. Get rid of this. Undo that and undo that last part there. Now let's go ahead to the clone stamp tool. Now remember, when you use the clone stamp tool, you have to sample beside what you're getting rid of. So hold your Alt key down, sample, and touch. Touch. Touch there. Just like so. You can do it a little bigger. You want to try to stay as close to what you're fixing as possible. And I sample a lot when I do this. I don't like to just sample and go across there because colors change, shadows change too often. This is an art in itself. I've actually found websites where people make a living by repairing old photos. We're just sampling this out here. Don't mean to bore you. Just hope you're following along with me. You may want to get rid of this and that little impairment there. That. Okay. Now if you see down here in the bottom, this part here, this is part of the background stuff. So what we're going to do there is I think we'll just clean that up. We'll crop it. We'll get rid of that. Anything you see as little white dots, maybe you want to fix these folks up a little bit, clean them up. Don't really want to take much away from the picture itself. There's a little discoloring from the yellowing of the picture itself. We'll just fix that up. This guy's hair looks a little color changed up there. The dad's suit jacket there needs fixed up a little bit. Make it a little bigger. Just like so. And you get the idea. Getting it all cleaned up. Just like to sample around as much as possible. Okay, so we got most of those creases out of there. That looks a lot cleaner now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to crop this out. So I want all the details, so I'm going to crop from the top. Come down. Notice we can come right down to the top of that piece of that picture right there. And we'll crop that out. Now, you can see now that we have it cleaned up more. It looks a lot better. We got rid of that cutout person on the side. We, excuse me, fixed all the creases down here the best we can get them fixed up, cleaned up, and got rid of that bottom part. Now what we need to do is we need to go out and we're going to find a background that's going to work for this. I'm going to actually move this to the side a little bit, like so, just so we can do our background change. And I'm going to go back to my organizer. And I go down to, and I got a couple emails about backgrounds. Folks, you can find these. I found these backgrounds on eBay. This is where I found my backgrounds. I want to find something that's going to work. I tend to use a lot of blues for some reason, but let's grab a blue. And we want this blue to be horizontal looking. Let's grab this one. We're going to put that in the full editor. Here is our background that we're going to try to use. And on this picture, I think I'm going to take the background and put it on top of the people here. So we're going to do a select all. We're going to move it. And we are going to move the background on top of this picture. I just think it would be a little easier to work with. We'll minimize this background. Now that we have this picture, we're ready to start working here a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and make this full screen again, just so we can see where our background is laying. Background looks alright. So now we're just going to take this layer and just move it on top of the background like we've done before. Now you do have a little bit of problem here, if you can see this, is it's kind of, you could tell that's very discolored and it doesn't really work with that background. Now we could do a little bit with that, is we can brighten them up. We can go in here, we can do a levels, and click OK. Then we'll group it just with these guys, do a Control G. We've done that before, and then you can just work with them, brighten them up, or maybe darken them a little bit. This is purely by taste, folks. You know, you can do a lot more with this picture. I wanted to give you the basic idea. There, now we did the levels. See, we didn't change the levels of the background. We just changed the levels of the people itself right here. Now, there are some other things I would probably want to go in here and do. You may want to go in here and you could brighten up some colors in the hair. Or, you know, just leave it like that. It doesn't look really, really bad. The bad parts is right here. You can see here. Actually, I'm going to... This video is going much longer than I suspected. But this is something that I wanted to show you for a while. So hopefully you're bearing with me. You're hanging in there. Let me hook my tablet up. You hear my tablet coming alive. I like using the tablet when I have to work on small areas. It's just a lot better to do it that way. So I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to grab my eraser tool, lower that bracket down a little bit. I'm going to try to get right up in here and erase some of this. It's very hard to do with the mouse. It's not that difficult when you have a tablet with, you know, the Wacom tablets. I think the newest one is called the Bamboo, and I do not have the Bamboo. This is an older one. You can generally pick these things up on eBay. eBay is a great shopping ground, especially if you're looking for some used merchandise. I got this one used, and it was hardly used, but got a good deal on it. And then you clean this up a little bit. Come over here, erase some of this. And that looks better. There we go. And you can see when I did that, right over here, I made sure I clicked on that layer I wanted to work on the transparent layer. That way I'm not deleting or getting rid of any of the background. So, once again, that's with the Wacom tablet. Like I said, it's very easy to use. It's still selected, but there is something wrong right here. I don't know really what that is. Let's just get rid of that. Fix up the hair a little bit. Make it blend. We weren't there when this original picture was taken, but we can kind of think what it looked like. And there's one more place on his jacket that I didn't like. Right here. So there you go. That's the way that works out for us. So what we started with, disconnect this. Seems my wireless mouse don't want to be too responsive. What we started with, if we turn this layer back on and turn all this off, this is what we started with. Kind of a bad picture there. You know, I scanned it in, and then this is actually what we came up with. I'm going to save it out, and hopefully let's save this as family, and we'll save it as a JPEG. We'll just save it as a JPEG. Highest resolution. You can see it's still a very small picture, 1.1 megabytes. And there you go. So I hope you're ready to scan some pictures in and start working on them. You don't really need the Wacom or Wacom tablet. It does help when you start doing some tedious work like that. And if this crease here really bothers you at the bottom, you know, you could crop that again and actually pull them down a little bit. It would still look okay. Matter of fact, we could actually try that. I could try to crop them out a little bit more. See what happens. If we cropped right above this bad area right here, this is what you would have. So it came out pretty good overall. I'm pretty happy with it. It looks good. The coloring could be a lot better. Maybe choose a different background color. Maybe just a plain white background would work with this picture. And until next time, always remember, folks, keep the shutters clicking, keep the editors editing, and jump over to my website, jackstechcorner.com, and if nothing else, sign up for the forums. They're free. You can click on there, and we'd love to have you and love to be chatting to everybody. Also, if you look at my website, you'll see on there now I have a new button for Skype. And if I'm on Skype, it'll say online. Load Skype on your computer and we can talk. I've done that with one person so far, Euless, and a very good wedding photographer in upstate Pennsylvania. So folks, I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.